Hello. Hi, guys. Okay. So this is my friend Liz. Nobody's on yet, but I'm showing her how this works. Okay. My big finger right here. Live will show you who's here.
Okay.
Becca's here. Becca is from Arkansas. Hi, Becca. Becca, welcome. This is my friend Liz, Becca.
Hi, guys.
Alicia is from California. Oh, this is going to be so awesome. I'm so happy that I have somebody to do this with tonight. It's going to be fantastic. We have a topic to talk about that we have been planning for, 10 years.
Yeah.
We've been actually talking about this exact thing for so long, and now we're going to be sharing it with the internet and the world, and really with the Pro Organizer Studio group. Hi, Lainey.
Hi, Lainey.
We see Lainey on.
Hi.
That's awesome. Okay, scoot in just a tad bit. Okay, great. I'm getting her accustomed to this whole Facebook Live thing. It is awesome. So we're just gonna wait for people to sign on. While we wait for people to sign on, here's what I usually do is just kind of welcome people into the group, because what happens is people will watch this live, or they will watch the replay in the group, or they will watch the replay when we post it to YouTube, which tends to be not immediate. It could be a few days from now or a few weeks from now. I'm pretty caught up with the other ones right now, so we'll be pretty soon.
I just asked the same thing, Lainey.
Okay, Lainey said, do you have lip liner on? Whoa, baby. Oh, yeah. I don't know who she's talking to. She must be talking to Elizabeth. This is my friend. Okay, welcome. I'm going to introduce her a million times, but this is my friend Elizabeth. In fact, we've known each other so long. I call her Elizabeth, and she calls me Jenny. But we both go by
Liz and Jen.
One syllable names, Liz and Jen. So that's how long we've known each other. I'm so excited to have her here. Hi, Bianca. Oh my gosh, Bianca, I'm so glad to have you on. I think this is the first time I've seen you on the live video. She is from Brazil, but she just moved to Florida. So cool. That's pretty cool. Glad to have you here. Tammy's here. Adria's here. Hey, Adria. She's from California. I have to tell Liz where all of my Pro Organizer Studio friends are from. That's so cool. So usually while we wait for people to sign on, I just kind of give a little intro, say thank you for coming, thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you so very much. If you're seeing us on YouTube for the first time, come on over and join the group, because this is where the group is where the live videos happen every Tuesday night. And Adria says, I can't believe you remember where we're all from. That is that photographic memory working for me. Hopefully not against me. Adria, you know what I'm talking about. Dee says, you guys look amazing. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Okay, so while I'm just, introducing people to Liz, and Liz introducing you to the group, Liz doesn't even have Facebook. So this is a really big deal for her to be on Facebook Live. I've been talking to her about it for a while and kind of explaining to her what it is that we do here. And so thank you guys all for being here and for welcoming her. Again, if you are seeing this, if you're finding this for the first time on YouTube, come on over and join the group. And if you are in the group or watching on YouTube, please go to my website. It's proorganizerstudio.com. I have a free email course for you to get started with. That is kind of the basis of what we build all these Facebook Live topics on. So you want to start with that so that you kind of know what it is we're talking about and kind of can chime in and join in the Facebook Live chats and ask your questions that you have about starting your organizing business. So I'm going to let Liz talk now, believe it or not. Okay, so, before I let Liz talk, I'm going to introduce her very briefly, and then I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about her story and why in the heck she's here, because I will tell you, she is not a professional organizer, and I am so excited because she is kind of my she is my first guest on this Facebook Live series that is not in the organizing world, but I'm really excited because what she does and what she is an expert in is so closely related to what it is that we do, that I have really been thinking about, okay, how can I bring her in and how can I talk about these topics that she and I are both passionate about and bring it to you guys. So that is where we're going with this tonight. So Liz is the manager of a medical spa in Charlotte, North Carolina. So all my Charlotte girls, I know who you are. You might not be here right now, but if you're watching on the replay, please go visit her because she is so easy to find, not in a creepy, stalkable way, but she is the manager of a medical spa called Ageless Remedies. It's in South Park. And she has been in this business like literally since we were in college. So she has been working in skincare and like cosmetics and like not just like spa, like going to get a massage. Like we're talking like the full deal, ladies. Like you guys all want this stuff, like Botox, like skincare treatments and stuff. Yes, she has been in this business for a long time. Hey Linda, hey Francesca. She's been in this business for a long time, and believe it or not, even though she's not a professional organizer, our clients are very much the same types of clients. And so we are going to talk about a lot of things tonight that are about high-end clientele, customer service, appealing to them, and also creating like ongoing loyalty with them long term. So this is like, again, a topic we're both really excited about because we've been talking about like just customer service in general, like how much we love like creating that experience. That's something we both have in common. We've been talking about this for 10 years, just like, oh my gosh, like how are we going to like work together one day in some type of business or something. And so I feel like this is like the culmination or just like one small step in the right direction of something that we both are like so super passionate about. Okay, so I'm gonna let Dawn's here. Yay, Tammy's here. Tammy, I'm so glad you're here because we're gonna talk about your question tonight. I told you this was gonna be a really important night to bring that question here. Dawn said this is gonna be so fun. Mary says she's so excited for this topic, and Lena's here from Chicago. Tammy says
exactly right.
Teach us how to act affluent even when we aren't. Yes, girl. We trust me. I got it all written down. We're gonna talk about that. Okay, so I'm so sorry, but long introduction. This is one of my best friends in the world. We have known each other since we were 11 years old. And okay, I'm going to let her talk now. I'm going to let her talk about her story, and then we're going to jump into some of the interesting ways that our industries are actually very similar, even though they don't seem like they are on the outset. But I'm going to let Liz talk about like what it is that she does, where she comes from, and what she is passionate about in this life. So again, thank you guys for signing on, and thank you, Liz, for being here.
You're welcome. Hey, everybody. I apologize. It's my first Facebook Live.
Don't apologize.
Anything. So if I seem nervous, that's why. So I went to school for hospitality management.
There you go.
Okay. I went to school for hospitality management. Hi. And I knew that I was very passionate about skincare. I didn't necessarily know how passionate I would be about customer service, but I'm like, okay, I want to work in skin. I want to work in a spa environment. I didn't exactly know how that would translate. So after I went to college, I then got a job at a medical spa. I've now worked at 2 medical spas, so my entire adult life has pretty much been working in a medical spa environment. And I then grew, thank you.
You're welcome.
To learn that I actually love customer service, and it's a huge part of who I am and what I feel comfortable doing as a job. What else? So how did you know? Okay, I have so many questions to ask. Okay. So you are now the manager. I mean, you really began as the manager of the spa. Well, I started as the assistant manager and then quickly moved up to the manager. So I lead a team of 7 girls who are all responsible. Our industry is basically taking care of affluent women who have decided they wanted to make changes to their skin, to their bodies, and it's very similar to what you guys are doing, helping people make changes in their life that they quite frankly need help making, something that they can't do on their own. You okay?
Yeah, just getting this.
Buddy thought.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yes, exactly, Dawn. Making people feel special. Exactly. And it is really fun, and it's really, really rewarding.
Yeah. Okay, so you currently, from a day-to-day basis, though, here's some of the things that you're dealing with. Okay, first of all, you are leading the team or managing the team of people that are responsible for, we wrote this down, delivering the customer, like they are one-on-one with the affluent clientele. You're delivering the customer service for them. So you are training them or teaching them how to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
So we can talk about that, but I also want to talk about you are really the person who has to deal with like any kind of customer service issues.
Yes.
And kind of proactively addressing some of that stuff. So talk to us about like on a day-to-day basis, what is it like training people, teaching people, making sure that they are staying like up to par with like what you guys set as your standard.
Right.
Okay.
Give me my notes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in our industry, it's really important that people feel confident. Okay, so basically what we're selling.
You mean your clients?
Yes. Yeah. Well, essentially us too as salespeople.
Okay.
Feeling confident in what you're doing, because everything that you start, new model in the making, everything that from coming from a sales point of view is coming from confidence.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think is? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, there's so many questions I have to ask, but what do you think is like? How do you guys like when you bring on a new person like on your team? How do you like bring them into like? Okay, what is your culture of customer service like for Ageless Remedies, or just, you know, even you guys like as a team, like how do you kind of train them, even if like they've never had experience before in delivering like, okay, like that high end or like luxury experience, like how do you train them in doing that?
I would say that a lot of times we try to make our staff realize like they are the expert in whatever. I think this kind of falls in line with what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
This is really, we wrote this down actually.
Go for it. Tell us.
Okay. So it's really important to us that our employees feel like they are the expert in a topic. Like you can't forget that people are coming to you. People are coming to you because they need help. Okay, they are in a vulnerable spot, and basically you are the expert in that topic, and that's why they are coming to you in the first place. And so automatically you should kind of have built-in confidence with whatever you're doing or selling or how you're portraying yourself, because they are coming to you for help, essentially. Okay, and so that's a big part of our company culture.
Okay, and tell us, just because not all of us are like super familiar with what kinds of services you guys are doing.
Okay,
like we know like Botox and facials, so we sell, but like what else?
So
like,
we're selling probably anywhere from a product that's like $50 all the way to a laser package that's $6,000.
Okay,
so it's really important that our employees feel comfortable and confident selling everything at the gamut and feeling like, okay, I'm giving this person something to help solve a problem that they have. And it's a good value too.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I feel like that was kind of like a good just sort of intro or background as far as like what Liz does. But what I really want to talk about are, okay, so you guys like have that basis for what it is a medical spa like, you know, encompasses, and what it is that she does as a manager. What I want to talk about are a bunch of the ways that our industries are actually really similar, like scary similar actually when you think about it, even though when at like from the outside you're like, okay, these are two totally different services. But I've been thinking about this for literally weeks, ladies, and so if you guys can't think of like at least a few reasons why they're similar, I'm gonna give you some. And I wrote some of these down. Okay, so for one thing, and we can talk about each one of these, we're primarily, not always, but almost primarily serving women.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so talk to me about like how you guys, you know, narrow or target. I mean, not that you wouldn't help guys.
Right.
I mean, not that you wouldn't offer the same services to guys who come in, but like you're primarily serving like a female clientele.
Right.
So everything, and it's all girls that work there, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we have all girls.
So everything that you guys do is going to be targeted at your ideal customer, which only makes sense. And this is similar to what I got to tell you guys. Like, you want to target the customer who is your customer, like who can afford you, and who, like, you know, that like secretly or openly, but mainly even secretly, kind of wants your service. So talk to us about like how you guys like bring in like how do you like bring like that like female or that like without saying it, like you don't say like we only want women in this.
Well, okay, I think it's
spa. Like how do you make it clear? Because this is a question that a lot of us have. Like we want to work with women,
right?
We don't want to like outright say like I'm not going to work with guys, or like that we'll not like work with like a wife and a husband together, but like mainly because of safety issues and kind of like a just a general comfort level. Like you want to kind of like target that female. So
I would say absolutely, most all of our marketing efforts, especially like on Facebook and all those things, are definitely driven more towards a female clientele. Like, absolutely would never turn away a guy, and we actually have a lot of guys that get Botox and hair removal. Yeah, a lot. But also for us, like when we bring, like, say a lady comes to our spa, for us it's more about retention and how we're going to keep that female. And you know, as women, we're very I don't like to use the word like sensitive, but we respond to emotion. So the way we keep our female clientele is how we make them feel. Yes. Okay, so like you've always heard this, people are not going to remember what you said to them, blah, blah, blah. They're always going to remember how you made them feel. So I think that would be really key for you guys too, when you're connecting with your female clientele, how you're making them feel, you know, and how you're connecting with them on that level.
Okay, scoot in just a little bit. How do you talk to your team about that? Like, how do you talk to them about how are you making your clients feel today? Like, I mean, or do you feel like you just hire people who, like, for them it comes naturally? Like, how do you kind of see that in them when you're hiring them, or how do you train that?
Okay, I think that anytime you're in a service, well, our industry specifically, you're in a service environment. Like, you know, when you go to aesthetic school or massage school, you are going to be taking care of people.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so, and same thing with you guys, though. I mean, you are doing this to, I don't think it's going to be a problem for you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it seems like all the industries that we're in are very much like, I want to help you. I want to take care of you. You know, like I want to help you solve a problem.
Very true. Okay, Margaret says, wow, that's so important. I never thought about that way. Uh-oh. Okay. I hope that's still going. Okay. Well, and so I want to tell Liz this, though, that... Okay, so she automatically thought that this would probably be pretty obvious to most of us, but... and Tammy says, okay, number 2, make them feel as special as you can.
Yes.
Very true. But I think that one of the things that we have talked about, at least in a indirect way, is that there is sort of this misconception among, like, the general professional organizing world, not necessarily in our group, but in the general professional organizing world. That's why I shorten it to pro organizing, because that's such a mouthful. Is that you will somehow, like, win over your clients by telling them how much you know about organizing, like by showing them like your expertise, and by dragging them through all this jargon and all these processes just to prove how smart you are.
No, they do not. That's a huge misconception. No one cares. Nobody cares
about that.
No, you just need to and so we. One of the things that we struggle with too is kind of like a patient will come in for a consultation and they will they'll want to know something, and one approach that some of our girls have that I observe that I particularly don't care for is they just educate, and so you're teaching this patient all this stuff for free, when really what you want to do is just get them, like, to trust you and be like, I believe I can take care of your problem, I can help you, just trust me. And really, I feel like a lot of people end up thinking that they're helping someone by giving them a bunch of education and knowledge, and I'm going to teach you this, teach you that, but you're really just giving away all your secrets for free, when really you need to kind of, we're all trying to sell something here, you know. Exactly, they need to know you, understand their point of view. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so good. Okay, Liz, I want you to keep
talking.
That's
exactly right, Oz.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, Erica. Erica says, confidence sells you. Your schooling opens the door, but can rub people the wrong way. True, if you are not presenting it kind of in a friendly manner. Upselling is in all industries. Any tricks on how to get the middle of the road price point to move up to... Hang on, let me click through more. Oh, wait, it's not going through. Oh, no. Okay, Erica, I'm missing the rest of your comment. Ew. I think what she's asking is any tricks on how to get the middle of the road price point to move up to what we would want to offer, but I can't see the rest of her comment.
Right.
Okay. Why don't you answer that question, and I'm going to check on my phone charging situation.
Okay. So how to upsell.
Yeah.
One thing that I like to do is I try to get people to kind of understand. I try to get them to say, you know, what's important to them. I try to get them to say, almost like selling it to themselves, if that makes sense. I don't really know if that does or not.
Is it?
Yeah.
Charging?
Thanks, Becca. You're just giving away your secrets away for free. You do. You're right. Is it charging? Yeah. Is it charging? Yeah. There it is.
And you need to get comfortable with that, and you need to get comfortable with like, hey, that's huge at our store. Like, I am the expert. You are here for a reason. You called me, and you just kind of need to own that and be confident in that. And honestly, then I think once you start doing that, the price point kind of, once patients, or in your case, clients, see the value, they're like, oh, wait, I am happy to pay for that, actually. You know, it's not such a, you also have to be comfortable with y'all's price points and just like, this is what it costs. Like, this is what you do.
Okay, so this is a perfect time for us to talk about the next point. Okay, one of the things that our industries have in common is that it is a luxury service in that it's not all, and none of it is necessary at a basic level at all. So one of the things that is kind of a initial obstacle, at least in our minds, is how does anybody want to pay for even this service like on sale? Like, because you know, it's like, even if I'm offering like a discount, it's like, like, you know, and this is something, okay, this was not included in the intro to this Facebook Live, but Liz and I, neither one of us came from like a background where like our families like just paid for like luxury services.
Not at
like
all. No.
We didn't come from like that kind of world, and so I think like, you know, the experiences that we have both had in working in customer service and like realizing that like there is a lot I mean, there's a career to be had, but also a lot of money to be made in making people happy, even when you are kind of bringing yourself into a world, so to speak, that is not necessarily the same one that you came from. Like, and this is
feeling comfortable.
We are going to talk. We're going to talk about this in several different ways tonight, but we're just going to start by establishing that Liz and I didn't come from that world either, so we're exactly like all of you in that respect. Okay, but we're going to talk about just the fact that it's a luxury service and that at any price point, it's completely optional. It's not a necessity in life. And so I think that, like, first of all, one of the obstacles that people have when they find out that like organizing people's houses is a thing is they're like, okay, so I can do that just for like $20 an hour. And it's like, okay, you could do that, but like you can't really sustain a business in that way. And then they find out they can charge $100 an hour, and they're like, oh my God, but who would pay for that? And so I think, so let's talk a little bit too about like just the pricing, like overcoming like the mental aspect of that.
That's huge, because say like, I think about, okay, if I had, have you discounted prices for discounting?
You can read the question out loud because it helps people later. Yeah.
All right, you read.
So, okay. Ashley says, have you ever considered dropping prices for discounting or discounting to individual customers for clients that you really just want to help and they want your help, but your pricing is just too high? I have a client that is recently facing, I can't see the rest of the comment, but, okay, Ashley, let Liz finish her comment, and then we'll talk about the first. Yeah, we'll talk about the first answer.
Okay, so say, if I had not been in this industry, okay, so say if you got laser hair removal, you know, that's thousands of dollars. It's really, you need to get out of the mindset that you're not thinking about your own pocketbook. You know what I mean? That is, to me, in our industry especially, one of the biggest things. You got to get it out of the way. You know what I mean? $2,000 might seem like a lot to you, but it is pennies to somebody else. You have to get that entirely out of your head.
She
medical,
said.
Yeah, I know. And here, I deal with that all the time, because we'll have, perfect example. We'll have a woman who's got polycystic ovary disease, and she has awful hair all over here, like bad, not just like a little lip and chin hair. She can't afford X. You know what I mean? Like, we want, like, this has happened, and I've worked in this place for 11 years, and we've wanted so many times to be like, you are seriously struggling. Like, this is terrible. Like, we want to just give this to you for free so it'll change your life and blah, blah, blah. And while it's tempting, my favorite saying that I hate that this is my favorite saying, but no good deed goes unpunished. So one of the times that we did this, something happened. This patient got sun exposure. She wasn't honest about it. She got burned. It was really, really messy. So my point is that I would try, even though it's tempting and we're all coming from a good place in our heart and you want to help people, it's tempting to do it, but I would say don't get in the habit, because also I feel like it does something in your own head, and it's sort of devaluing, like the whole thing is we can't devalue what we're doing. You know what I mean? This stuff, I hate saying it, this stuff costs what it costs for a reason. And with our industry too, you know, there's risk, and there might not be as much risk involved in what you guys do, but there's more risk involved in what we do. That's why it's more expensive. But I completely understand where you're coming from, because we've had so many instances over the years where I just am like, oh my God, here you have, you're 13, you have the most horrendous acne. I want to help you. Like, I want to give you the whole store for free. You just can't, because when are you going to draw the line? Because I guarantee there will be another person that comes along that's like, oh, but then there's this person, and it just, I completely hear you and understand where you're coming from, but, you know, I would just say try not to do it a lot, unless it's just like once, I don't know, once, and you're gonna call it a day.
Well, and something, I mean, just to, like, again, because I'm educating Liz at the same time, hopefully not over-educating, but you know, something I say a lot is, for like a lot of people when they're getting started with organizing, they're tempted to do some jobs that are for free, and they want to give those jobs to people who are deserving or in need of it.
Yeah.
And I, like, again, I'm like, if that's something that you want to do for fun once your business is profitable and once you don't need the money, like, that's great. But it's not a great way to get your business off the ground, because those people, like, while they might, like, desperately need you, first of all, they're going to be really difficult, and they're not going to be the kind of clients that are going to refer you to their friends who are going to become paying clients. So, okay, so let's segue into this. Let's talk about the power of referrals in your business.
It's huge. We definitely do advertising, but nothing is like a friend referral. And like I said, it kind of goes back to the way you make people feel. They do not forget about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They will tell all of their closest girlfriends. They'll be like, hair removal, organizing, not really something that you need, not a life or death thing, but you've got, like, this girl is amazing, you got to go there, they'll take care of you.
Makes you feel so much better.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like $1 million, like you don't even know until you get it done, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple of other ways that our industries are similar. So, one of the things is, actually, these next few things are all kind of related a little bit. There's this factor of, like, with people who want to get organized and people who want to get Botox, okay, there's this factor of, like, there's an embarrassment factor, and it's twofold. One is the fact that they're even getting it, because it's like they want to be like, oh, this is my natural self.
I woke up like this, for real.
Yeah,
you're like, no, you didn't.
You didn't. And I think that, like, with, like, people who want to get organized, it's like they want to be like, oh, this is how I always am. Like, I have my shit together all day, all the time. So you have sort of the embarrassment factor that you even need it, and then you have, like, that secondary embarrassment factor of how much you paid for it.
Right.
Like, it's like the fact that you paid money for it. Like,
is even more embarrassing.
It's like, this wasn't natural, and I paid money for it. Taboo, and, you know, it's kind of like, that part is kind of like a little bit embarrassing too. And so, so we have two things to talk about here. Two things are, one, how you create that trust and comfort and that promise of confidentiality with your client. And two, how you will get them to talk about you with their friends when they don't want to really admit that they had the whole thing done at all.
Right.
By the way, totally random comment, I want one of you guys to start marketing your PO business, like your pro organizing business, like, you know, something about, like, you know, you don't have to tell your friends you had any work done. Like, tell them it was all natural, or like something like that. I don't know. I want you guys to, like, take, like, that, you know, Botox, plastic surgery angle with it. Okay. Promise me somebody will. All right. Okay. So Liz is going to talk about this too. Okay. So, like, that embarrassment or, like, that confidentiality factor.
So what has worked for me, people really like testimonials, you know, like, sometimes when you make it, people like, they do. Some people do like to brag about how much they paid.
Oh, okay. Lainey says done. She's going to do it.
I would use, like, examples. Like, people, I always find that people are immediately disarmed when you start to be like, oh, like, I had a friend or my mother-in-law or just someone, like, making it, or for us, like, I'll pull out before and after books of Botox and hair removal and filler and all this stuff, and the people are flipping and they're like, oh, like, it's really not, there are a lot of people that do that. Okay, this is more common than I think. So I don't know if there's, in y'all's industry, if there's a way that you don't have to tell anyone you had work done. Yeah.
I like it. You're so funny. Okay.
So I don't know how you guys can translate that.
Okay. So yes,
they're like personal success stories of other people, so they don't feel so alone or so judged.
Here's one of the things though, and this is probably,
you know, this would be a factor with like those before and after pictures probably with you guys is people probably want those to be like anonymous. Like do not yes. put my face in there because I don't want my friends knowing. I don't want anybody to recognize my, you know, body. The problem with people's houses is it's very hard to make it anonymous because it's hard
to mask that.
Like, and so you have to find clients who are willing, and this is, you know, kind of a whole nother topic. You have to find clients who are willing to let you photograph their house, not just like a quick picture of like like that actual job that you did, but like actually going the extra mile and staging like the good lighting,
right?
And like doing like the full like beautiful styled after.
It might be more like stories then. If that's right. It might be success stories.
I was just gonna say like before and after pictures are very common in our industry, but even more important, I think, is like that golden like testimonial. Like when people are willing to talk about you to their friends. That's the most important thing. But if you can put it on your website, their experience with your business is very important.
Like on our I remember when we first started getting like Google like 5-star ratings and just even like Yelp and Facebook ratings, like that is where people go now to find out who they should get to do their Botox or what doctor they should see or where to go get a pedicure. Like reviews in our industry are everything. You know what I mean? Like it's out there for everybody to see and you can't hide it. There's nothing you can really do to take it down. It is what it is. So I don't know how you guys can get that, but
reviews are a big deal.
They're a huge deal for us. Crazy for me, I had to find a way to relate to them and how to share with them where I've struggled and how I've helped others. Absolutely. That's huge. Because people automatically, it makes them, they're a lot less defensive. And they're like, oh, you know, because you got to think like all this stuff. Like people are, you know, we can segue into this other topic. Like people are vulnerable. Like all of this stuff. It's like we're all scared because we're trying to sell you something. You know, and we're like, oh my God, like what if they don't like me or they don't think I'm good enough or this is too expensive, blah, blah, blah. You can't forget that the people on the other side are just as scared. You know what I mean? She's going to think I'm a slob. She's going to think I'm messy. She's judging me. She's going to think I have the deepest wrinkles in the entire world.
Yeah, or like these people like, I shop too much. I bought too much. Like,
right, they're going to judge me.
Super nervous about that part.
Right. So that is absolutely something when we... So suggestions on how to get the testimonials. I always, every single opportunity, I take every opportunity. Anytime a patient says that they're happy, I say, you know what would be huge? What's been really amazing for us is happy patients, you know, giving their testimonials, whatever you're more comfortable with.
Hey, Maureen. Hey, Maureen.
Just ask them and don't be afraid to ask them because people are always happy to help. They're a lot more happy to help. They like to feel helpful. They like to do it. So I would just ask. What we do, we send out like an email. So say you say to Tina, she's like, I'm so happy, and you're like, oh, blah, 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 write a review. We go the step further and we make it a lot easier, and we send them a link to make it really easy so they'll do it, and that they'll not just say it and forget it, but they'll have like a link to make it easy. Number 5, they are just as afraid as we are. Yes.
Tammy, I love all these. Tammy, you're taking notes, girl. I love it. Liz, you are a natural, says
Thank
Lainey.
you.
Yeah, she's so good.
Thanks. I was really scared, but it's okay.
Oh, okay, another random comment. I actually referenced, I don't know if any of you guys have been following like my videos like in super detail, but the very first day of the Lainey and Jen Beach Chat series, I actually referenced Liz in our car drive where we turned around a million times. Where Lainey and I were in the car together, and I actually talked about Liz because I mentioned this exact topic about like the customer service and like loving customer service. And I've known ever since then.
Christy.
I was like, I got to get her in here. Okay, Christy says, or how, you know, relating with them, how I have helped someone else in a similar situation. Absolutely.
Yeah, people like that. They want to hear that other people are in the same boat.
Yes.
You know, they don't want to feel alone.
And I remember specifically, and I'm sorry, I'm just like giving you like a lot of random side comments, but I remember specifically when I started my organizing business that I was talking to Elizabeth about it. And she maybe mentioned it to a few of her friends, and one of her friends, and this like really stuck out in my mind, one of her friends was like, I would love to have somebody like that help me, but she again was so overwhelmed by the idea that like somebody else would see like how much stuff she had.
She was
like,
so embarrassed.
She was like bought a bunch of makeup or something, and she was just like, she like was like chronically buying makeup, and like she had like just this like shopping addict problem or whatever the case was, and was just like, she was so
overwhelmed by that, and I was just like,
yeah.
oh my God, like, so the biggest obstacle is not actually the fact that people will pay for it. One of the biggest obstacles is that confidentiality factor.
Yeah.
And I started marketing that part as like part of my business, like 100% confidential service, like hardcore. And I'm like, I'm not going to push people to take pictures. It's like, I just want to be there to do the job and like not make them feel like, oh, okay, and now I'm going to put your home on the internet. You know what I mean? Jenna Wynn. Jenna lives in Charlotte. Jenna, you need to come visit Liz.
Hi, Jenna.
She's in Ageless Remedies South Park. Go look her up and go say hi. She said she had that fear as a kid, bringing her friends home to her house.
Is it because your family?
I don't know. She came from a family that had like maybe a little bit of hoarding or disorganized problems. Jenna said, okay. Donna said, oh crap.
So overwhelmed.
Donna said, a lady said something like that to me today. I'm so overwhelmed. I just can't even get out of bed to just do it. Yes, that is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Such a big deal. So like, yes, like, so this is one of the things, definitely one of the goals of tonight is I want you guys to understand that there are people who are willing to pay you to solve their problem.
And the money is not an object. The money, is not always. One thing I learned, I don't actually know if this is true or not, but one time I read in a sales book that usually it's not the first roadblock. So when someone says like, no, I'm not ready to buy or whatever, it's usually the second roadblock. So a lot of times for us, people say, no, it's the money. It's really not the money. It's the husband. Or if they say it's the husband, it's some other weird thing. So
yes,
I don't know what is, I mean, we definitely do not try to hard sell whatsoever, because that's another thing that will always come back and bite you in the ass. You know what I mean? Like a hard sell. Oh my
God, I'm so glad you said that.
Someone is going to come back and they're going to be like, either going to have buyer's remorse or they're just going to feel bad. It's never a good thing. You want people to feel good about these decisions and feel like, yes, I'm invested. My heart's in this.
Not
feels
that they got
right.
pushed into it.
Not that they
got
pushed. Right. Okay. That's never the patient or client that you want ever.
Thank you. That's such a great point for you guys to write down if you're taking notes. Like the heart, and that definitely like resonates with me because I never wanted to overly push somebody into it.
But what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say that. Like never the hard sell. That's not good. But sometimes you can just gently bring someone along by sort of asking questions about their objections. Like, so someone, I don't even know what the right approach is, because in our industry, the price is what it is. Like we don't do like, negotiating and haggling and all that stuff. It's just, it is what it is. But sometimes don't be afraid to open up and ask someone like, well, dig a little bit deeper, gently dig a little bit deeper is, I guess, what I'm saying. Gently, right. Like a conversation, because you obviously are starting to develop a relationship with this person, you care about them, so you genuinely want to know, like, are there any other objections that you have that I'm not addressing? Because sometimes the first thing, they'll just say, oh, it's too expensive, or oh, my husband won't let me do it, but that's not sometimes the only reason, I guess.
What do the reasons end up being? Are they like just nervous about like the treatment itself? Like, are they kind of scared?
Yeah,
or
sometimes. Exactly. Like sometimes with us, like they're scared of
a big change.
Yeah, you're right. They're scared. Yeah. They don't want their friends to know. They don't want their friends to see them in there.
Yeah.
They don't want people to judge them. There's a lot of like hidden reasons
of like having stuff done.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. There's a huge stigma,
taboo. Yeah.
Right? And a lot of times people are actually really uneducated about cosmetic stuff, and they'll see someone that's like this, and they're like, oh my gosh, she has so much Botox. No, she had a facelift, and she probably had this and this and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah. So people see examples of that, and they're like, oh my God, I don't want anything to do with that. When really, if you take the time to explain to them, actually, if you get a little bit of Botox here and here, it's really just going to enhance or soften, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Oh, she's selling me right now, girls. Softly. Okay. All right. So let's talk about too, the money. Okay. Another money aspect, and then we're going to put this on the positive. Like there's kind of the negative of like, I'm guilty or feel nervous about like the amount of money that I'm spending on something that's totally not necessary. Like I should be putting it towards my kids' college, like whatever. But then on the positive side, you have like this, like they are spending money because they are the types of people who are investing in themselves.
Right.
Like they are investing in a confidence thing and something that has obviously been bugging them for a long time. Like they didn't just come to the decision lightly. Right. Like it's something that it's like, okay, this is going to actually improve my life like every single day. So that's another big thing that we have in common.
Yes.
And so
you're right.
Talk to me about that.
Okay, it wasn't an overnight decision. Like in both of our industries,
Bianca says she loves Botox. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so
and Dawn says she definitely wants to have stuff done.
Come to Charlotte, Dawn.
Me too.
Like you just said, a lot of these decisions are like emotionally charged decisions.
Yeah.
It's not like someone woke up and said, oh, I want my house organized, or I'm going to get Botox today and I never thought about it ever. Like, no, there's always something, there's always a driving force. Think about the decisions we all make every single day as women. You know, there's something, your mind's always going, it's always working.
Yes.
There's always... what was I just saying? What was I saying?
No, just like that it wasn't an overnight decision.
It's not an overnight decision. There's always thought and emotion behind making a decision. So in selling, that's also important for us to consider and not forget, because this is something that's been on their mind. Like, we cannot forget, we are helping them solve a problem that they have been thinking about in their head. You know?
And I think that, and this is interesting, Ashley just said clean space equals clean mind. So yes, it is essential for some people. I think that one of the obstacles in our industry is that it's still not like widely known that there is a career, like there is such a thing as a professional organizer that can come do it for you. Like they don't even know like that still, like that is a thing that you can actually, it's like even better than a personal trainer. It's like you don't even have to do the work yourself. Like they come do it for you, like if you want to, or you can do it with them.
Right.
Like have them like come help you organize. But like when they find out that like somebody will just do it for them and they're like, wow, I've been stressing and like, you know, feeling bad about myself for so many years. And then they finally just basically accept like, this is not a strength of mine. And I got more money than I have time. And I'm willing to pay somebody to come help fix this problem so that, you know, then this like host of like benefits that comes along.
Right.
Like, you know, my family is not experiencing all this stress because our crap is everywhere.
Right.
I am, you know, more productive in my business and my work, like blah, blah, blah. Like all the reasons that come with it, like once they realize that somebody can do it for them.
Absolutely.
Now, I think like with what you guys do, it's maybe a little bit more well-known that like that it can be done, but maybe people don't like take it really seriously as an option, maybe till like they get to a certain age or a certain point in life. Oh, Margaret said, hell yeah. Okay. Margaret said, getting married to someone 15 years younger than I made it easy to have a tummy tuck. And I say any reason is a good enough reason for you to feel good about yourself,
Jenny
right?
Said, Liz, how do you encourage repeat customers?
Okay, Jenny, we'll come back to that. Let's finish up our thought because she and I will both forget where we were.
Yes.
Where were we?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh crap. Okay. So we're just talking about I'm usually pretty good at like not losing my place. We're talking about once you I said people are more aware that you can have work done to your face or your body. Like you guys do like the cool sculpting thing, like you do laser, like it's not just face, it's not just Botox, but we're just like using that as an example. People are more aware of it, but they don't like seriously maybe consider it until they get to a certain age or a certain point in life to where they feel like they deserve that or justified, right? And so like talk to us about that, because again, we're talking about organizing, not so well known until people find out about it and they're like, oh my God, yes, like let me just have this done for me so that I don't have to keep just putting the stress on myself to have it done, like for me to do it myself when that is clearly not my strength and I don't have time for that. So talk to me about that. Like,
okay,
you think people have like hesitations about just finally getting it done?
Absolutely. Yeah. But usually, and this will go back to how well known medical spa. All the comments.
That's okay. I know there's a lot of comments. If we don't get to everyone, we'll try to come back to where we were.
Okay, wait. I kind of don't know what you mean.
Okay. All right. Let me try to approach it from a different point. I was saying that people struggle with organizing as they don't even know that is like an option for them.
Right.
But like people kind of know about Botox, but like do you think that they mainly hear about it like from their friends and they're like,
yes, yeah,
oh, like that's something.
That's
that
why for you
guys,
for you guys. Until it becomes more of like a well-known thing, referrals will be huge. Referrals will be huge, and repeat customers, we'll touch on that in a second. Obviously, like getting that repeat business from the same person over and over again is huge, and that also goes back to doing a great job, being confident in what you do, and literally changing their life. Because with both of our things, it's a lot of these things are life-changing.
Yeah, totally.
And it's about how you sell this stuff to these people, because just like there's different things that make someone, drive them to being like, hey, I'm going to get my house done and I'm going to get Botox. People also forget, hey, if I get these things done, it's going to make me feel better in all these areas, or it's going to free me up to have more time to spend with my family. There's a whole host of benefits once you finally pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And it's probably worth having a conversation with someone once you figure that out. Liz, what is your best form of advertising outside referrals? Facebook. Oh my God. Facebook ads. Facebook. Oh my God.
They do a lot of videos, and they do their Instagram is really awesome too. You guys have little videos on your Instagram.
Yeah, we
too,
try.
right?
But Facebook, I remember our marketing agency. We have a marketing firm. They were like, we're going to do Facebook ads. I'm like, no one's on Facebook. That's not going to work. I had to eat my words because I was super wrong. The ads are crazy. And also that might be really cool for you guys because they actually might be kind of, you'd have to look into how inexpensive they are, but there's probably not a whole lot of competition. So they might be inexpensive. It will get on people's radar. And then you can actually, you can segment, by, you can target females, and with this demographic where they live, blah blah blah. It's amazing. And then like if someone likes it, what's amazing for us is that, so say like our ad didn't necessarily get served to someone, but their friend liked it, and then it is super viral and it shows up on their thing. So I'll say, how did you hear about us? And someone will say, I don't know, I saw my friend liked something you did on Facebook, and they're not even clear, but I don't care because it got them in the door. And now it's up to us to keep them.
That is awesome. And if you guys don't know, I mean, maybe you need to go back and like watch some of my earlier videos if you want to know more about this. But like, I got started with my first few clients through Facebook ads, and this was several years ago. Oh yeah, this was several years ago. So like, it wasn't quite as complicated as it is now, but it also wasn't as targeted as it is now.
Yeah, it's super targeted.
It's
so
like
so specific with what you want.
Yeah. Let me read this comment. This was really good. Dawn says, it's like a secret service right now. She's talking about professional organizers. So true. Mostly unknown as a luxury brand, it's assumed that all pro organizers only work with hoarders.
Absolutely.
So true.
Right.
Like that's like the general perception. I am trying to change that perception because my mission is to let people know, A, that this is a very accessible business to start, and B, that it's like super sexy. Okay. Like you can be, it's like, you're like a sister, like a cool, like nerdy little sister of like being an interior designer. And because you get to be in people's like gorgeous houses, like making them look beautiful.
Right. And they love you for it.
You don't have to be certified to do it. And you get to like use like your like analytical brain, not just your decorating brain, which a lot of you guys have both, but let's be honest, I kind of have that project management brain. Dawn says she's down for that. Yes. Okay, so let me I'm just gonna like try to keep us on track because Liz and I could talk about this for 3 hours. Next thing, okay, so we kind of talked about the embarrassment to tell their friends factor,
right?
The money factor of like the guilt of like what they spent on it. Okay, let's talk about this next thing though. Trust in your, not just in the brand of, by the way, Tammy asked a few questions ago how well known this medical spa is. It's in Charlotte. You guys
it's in South Park. We've been there.
Are awesome, but I mean, it's not like a national brand or anything. It's
not.
Just it's
like a mom and pop. A retired surgeon started it with his wife. We've been in business for 11 years.
Yeah.
So
Liz has been with them from the beginning. She manages the whole thing. I mean, she's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the next part, which is just like trust, like not just in how you guys like build, like establish like a general trust in your brand with your potential clients. Oh, Christy told us 46 minutes. Thank you so much, Christy. And we do not have a time limit tonight, so don't worry. Trust not just in your brand, but like trust like in the specific esthetician that they're working with. And this is something that is also super relevant to us because a lot of us are starting their businesses, or if you're like me, you just stayed as like a solo organizer or a solo entrepreneur. But also some of us who have been in business a while or are starting and thinking smartly, they're thinking about growing in the future and are going to have other organizers like subcontracting underneath them. So like we're trying to be forward thinking with the fact that we are our personal brand right now, but that there might be organizers under you who are not always going to be you. So like how do you huge. Yes. So how do you like establish like this trust with people coming in contact with your company and your brand?
Yeah, when it's like, not you.
Trusting also that like the person who is under you or
is going to reflect but your business associate or partner is going to reflect you the way here's a great
talk about that.
Okay, so we for a little while we did our Instagram. I was doing it, and then I let go and like a company did it. And when this company was doing it, I couldn't put my finger on it, but they weren't, it was nothing I could do. or explain to them, but they weren't making us come across the way I wanted to. And it wasn't like I couldn't say it was like unprofessional or not pretty enough. Our tone wasn't coming across. And it was
not as personal as when you were doing it. I can tell you that for sure.
Right.
I saw
like a change.
Difference.
Right. Yeah. And so I would say for you guys, it's probably gonna be really, so anyway, it made me have to think a lot like, okay, how do I want my brand to come across? Like, how do I, down to the tiniest detail that you think that people won't even pick up on, you know, like how do you want it to be portrayed? How do you want people to think about you? How, I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Even down to like the tiniest.
Hunter's on. Hi, Hunter.
Hi, Hunter. Oh, even down to like the silliest things that you wouldn't think. Like, for example, there were like certain particular words.
Yes.
There was nothing wrong with these words, but it just
wasn't like in your voice.
Us. Yeah, it wasn't our voice. So I then I stopped being embarrassed of being like, hey, you know, I might like it more like this, or I don't know. I had to not be so embarrassed about just, you know, speaking up and saying like, okay, I have a different vision.
Talking about like what was on brand for you guys.
Yeah. Yes. Even down to the tiniest details that you don't think that you have to speak up about, but you do. You know.
Yeah. Jenna says tone is so important.
Tone.
I racked my brain for a month to get my website writing just like I wanted it.
Exactly.
Jenna just relaunched her website. She's in Charlotte, by the way. Jenna just relaunched her website from what it was before. It was cute before, but now it's like
awesome.
Smashing.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
And definitely has that feeling of like, oh my God, like let me give you my money. Like
right, exactly. Like the people are like, oh, I trust
come
these
do
people.
this.
Yes.
Yeah. Ashley says, any insight on what to pay your employees hourly or per job? Ashley, let's jump onto that question on a different topic or night, because Liz is not going to be able to talk about that. And also, Ashley, that is answered in detail in the Build Your Team guide. Okay, Jenna said, definitely is challenging. Jenna says, thank you. Money.
Aww.
Yes, girl, I want to hand you my money. And you're close enough that I could just hand you my money. And if I need help in my personal life getting organized, believe it or not, I will hire somebody to come do that.
Right. Adria, that's exactly right. He says it takes a lot of hard work to reflect yourself in the writing and the website. It absolutely does.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Right. It takes a lot of thought and time, and then to be able to convey that to other people. Like if you guys have people working with you or for you, you got to be able to articulate it and feel comfortable doing it, you know?
Melody says, hi, Jen, just joining as I walk through Walmart for a few items. Hi, Melody. I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, awesome. Okay, so Liz, so we just talked about you spending a ton of time like as the manager, and kind of you get a lot of input on the process of like your social media presence and everything. Okay, so now you've done all that hard work, but you also have 7 or 12 girls or whatever now. It's growing, right?
Right, it's growing. Right.
Working for you. It's like, how do you train them, or how do you transfer to them your vision and like you taking like them? And we haven't really even dug in yet to like the customer service aspect, but like how do you get them to understand like
this will be a good segment, as a good segue too,
to do it the way that you would do it.
Okay,
even slightly the way that you would do it.
I know. Authenticity is super important. Yeah, humility, absolutely. Because the
Very
second
true.
you get cocky, people see right through that.
Yeah,
absolutely. I cannot stand that. Anyway, what I was gonna say is I try really, really hard to lead by example. I try so hard, you guys. Every day, I hope if any of you guys who live in Charlotte, or if you ever come there, hopefully I will be working and you can understand, but I really try. I try to say something in the moment. You know, like I try to, teaching moments, I try to always, and I never, you know, I'll just say like, hey, I noticed blah, blah, blah. Maybe next time you want to try it like this. So there's definitely some coaching in there, you know, like I hate to say managing because I am a manager, but I prefer to say coaching.
Yeah.
So I try to absolutely lead by example, and I try to be really, really consistent with that. And then I always try to speak up if it's like a good teaching moment. I'll never embarrass someone. I never want to make someone feel shitty or less than, or like they did a bad job. It's just, hey, this is how I want to represent our brand. Yeah. And this is what I want you to do too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to talk next about actually the crux of our topic tonight. Hey, Jennifer. Okay, Jennifer is in Colorado Springs.
Hi.
Okay, the main part of our topic tonight is
creating and delivering that amazing client experience. And we want to transition that into, you know, the factors that go into that repeat client, like the loyalty, the loyal, you know, client that talks about you, that is willing to talk about you.
So proud to talk about you.
And B is not just wanting to talk about you, but becomes that repeat client who signs up for like that bigger laser package or that bigger like facial package. Like is like, okay, I'm putting like my biggest asset, my skin, into your hands. So let's talk about that part. All right, and scoot into the picture a little bit more. So let me look better on YouTube. Yes.
Okay, let me see our notes. Where do we start?
We did all that. You have another okay. This is super casual, girls.
Sorry, guys.
We're just...
Yes, here comes the wine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say what's really important for us is that, say my bosses pay a ton of money to get patients to come to us. A lot of good that does if I don't give them amazing, exemplary customer service and get them to really buy in to our concept and to our family and to want to be a part of this. And even better, like if you have someone, the biggest compliment is getting someone that would never talk about this or would never brag about it to tell all their friends and or post about it or whatever.
Yeah, so true.
What do you want to segue into?
Do you want to talk about the Ritz Carlton?
Oh yeah, I did want to tell you guys this.
This is so amazing. Like she is like chock full of like
thank you, Jennifer.
goods. Yes, thank you so much, Jennifer.
So all right, so when I was in college, like I said, I majored in hospitality management, and I always knew I wanted to be in spa management somehow. I didn't really understand the industry or how it would work or that I would land up in a medical spa, but I did my senior thesis on the Ritz Carlton, and so that's when I really became fascinated with customer service and that there's like a whole psychology behind it, and it's really important, and customer service really can make or break a business. And one of my favorite things that I try to remember, one of their credos or in their motto is it's ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, and I think that is so beautiful. And when you are in an awesome industry
we like that a lot.
You guys and us, it's a great way to feel like I'm doing something great and I am, you know what I mean?
Yes. You mentioned this when we were talking earlier, that you are not lower than or less than the people that you are serving, but that yet you are serving.
Right. And you have to understand, like, you know, sometimes that is, you walk a fine line because you don't want to feel, especially you guys, you're going into these beautiful homes, you know, seeing people's stuff, and you might not have the same type of stuff. Just like when I think about it, if I didn't work at this place, do I have the money for hair removal or Botox? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? But I can't let that kind of deter me giving good customer service. So keeping that in the back of my head, ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen, you know, you don't have to feel like, I don't know, like a peasant, or you're waiting or serving someone. Or
and this actually comes up quite a bit.
It does all the time.
And I mean, this comes up in the questions, not just in our big group here, but also in our masterclass group. Like people kind of having that like initial like, oh my gosh, it's so hard for me to see myself.
Yeah.
In like on that same level or serving
or
like
good
at
enough.
that, like like being in these people's homes. And this really ties into a question that somebody asked, and we can talk about this in as many ways as you can think of to talk about it. What do you do? What do you do when you don't feel you're targeting, like you've decided, okay, it only makes good business sense to target a high-end clientele, but what do you do when you don't feel as high-end as your clientele and you feel sort of like slightly intimidated or slightly embarrassed or like a little bit like, oh, well, because for example, I'll just give you an example of like the things that come up when you're in somebody's home versus the things that come up just when you encounter somebody like in like a business like your spa. It's like, oh, you might see like their clothes or their purse or whatever, but like when you're in somebody's home and it's just like, I mean, I'm very upfront. Like, I've encountered all kinds of embarrassing situations. Like, I don't know the difference between like silver and pewter and porcelain and china. And I was
we
like,
are equal, Tammy. Yes.
Oh, okay. Like, and I tell every client, like, oh, okay. So like, I totally learn something new every time that I work with somebody because I don't know everything about everything, and it didn't come from like a background where I just naturally knew all that stuff, and so I kind of had to like pick up on things over time. But like, and I'm just giving that as an example of like things that people ask me about, like either one-on-one or in this group on a regular basis, and you can talk to us too about how you coach your team when they don't feel it like immediately. It's just kind of like that nervousness of like,
I'm not good enough.
Like their entire outfit costs more than my entire closet.
Right.
Like I don't know.
Right. We absolutely run into that, and we definitely have like we are waiting on people. We are in the service industry. You know what I mean? So it is. I hate to say like that it's always apparent that it's like this, but it's always apparent that it's like this. Yeah. And I would say that you have to get out of your head that that this is bad, or that like that you are less than. Just get that out of your head. Yeah. Right from the beginning, because at the end of the day,
what's a good way for you though? And I'm sorry I'm interrupting you, but like you mentioned this to me earlier, like it is a little bit of fake it till you make it. But
absolutely.
Like what would be a good way that you would recommend? Like, how do you start out? Like, how do you start out faking it?
Okay,
like, how do you start
I'll tell you this. Okay, so I remember when I told you I was in speech?
Yes.
Okay, when I was in college, I was petrified. I can't believe I'm speaking to you guys right now, and I can't see you all 20 of you.
She's so good at this.
But I was petrified of speech class. Like, I couldn't. I could not stand up in front of people and talk to them.
Yeah.
So I waited until my senior year, and I did an exchange program. I went somewhere else, and I thought, okay, perfect. I'll take speech because I won't know anyone, and I won't be embarrassed. And so the first day, I never forgot this, of my speech class, the teacher said, you should absolutely never, ever be scared when you're public speaking, because 9 times out of 10, you are the expert on what you're talking about. You know more than everyone else most of the time in the room. And I was like, oh my God, holy shit, that's so true.
Yeah.
So I would say...
And it's all relative.
You
don't have to be the most expert ever.
No, but most of the time, you're more educated on the subject. Mm-hmm. So right from the beginning, that's something that I always remind myself of, that, like, you are the expert. You know what I mean? They are coming to you for help. Mm-hmm. So just remind yourself of that. Even if you feel less than, or your outfit's not perfect, or whatever it is, like, you know more about them in this particular instance, and that is why they are coming to you for help.
Okay, Dawn says
exactly.
they have the money, we have the organizing power. We make their homes look like a retail space. So true. And Jenna says, I turn red as a lobster when I public speak, but
thanks,
at the same
Jenna.
time, I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bianca says, that is what my mentor told me on my master thesis.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
And Lainey just joined back. That's
Lainey,
good.
Where have you been?
I know. Okay. All right. So we're talking a little bit about like faking it till you make it.
Yeah.
But like, do you have like things that you tell yourself? Okay, I know it's probably hard for you to remember back when you felt intimidated by this, but like things that you tell yourself in your head, or things that you tell your newer staff, like when they're first starting out. Because I know you mentioned there was like one girl that kind of like particularly struggled with it a little bit of like, I want to be the person who has a closet full of designer purses. Yeah. I don't want to be organizing those designer purses, but at the same time,
I feel like I have the same. I'm just as entitled as that person to have the stuff, and she's waiting on them. I the same thing.
Yeah.
I just try to tell them. I mean, everybody fake it till you make it, because like we touched on earlier, confidence is everything. Mm-hmm. You know, these people are not going to trust any of us if we don't come across like, I got this. Like, yes, you are here for a reason. I will take care of you.
Yeah.
And then, the whole like you are the expert.
Yeah.
Like, end of story. That's what I really try to tell everybody, and that was
like,
it.
That's it.
That's it.
Confidence
is huge.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say this, you guys. I did write this down. A lot of this, it starts with how you view yourself. You know, like being disingenuous or trying too hard. I mean, you do walk a fine line between like faking it till you make it, and then like being disingenuous or trying too hard.
Like
so still exactly, or overcompensating. So it's a fine line. Like, try to still be true to yourself, you know, and find what resonates with you and speak in the same way that you would. Keep your same personality, just have the confidence behind it to know that these people are choosing you guys to help them, you know.
Oh, I'm going to okay, Liz, I'm going to interrupt you and actually ask you a question, and I'm trying to like get so specific with you because these are things that people have talked to me about.
Okay.
Do you like I know, I mean, because I know the kind of girls that you have working in your spa, like, there's a range of, like, ethnicities.
Absolutely.
There's a range of ages. There's a range of sizes. Like, they come from all kinds of different backgrounds. They're not all just, like, a cookie cutter. But, like, do you feel like there is a, like, or if any of them struggle with like a lack of confidence because of specifically the way that they look, like the way that they dress or the way that they come across, like how do you tell them, like how do you help them get over that confidence hump of like, you don't have to be the prettiest girl in the entire world to be amazing at what you do,
right?
And to make your client feel comfortable and trusting with you, because like that's what's selling it. It's like, it's not like you don't have to be the most perfect person.
No, not at all.
So talk to us about that.
Okay, and we see, I think probably some of the confidence about that comes from, so educate yourself on the finer things in life. I think a lot of that confidence comes from the fact that we do see so many women and so many walks of life, and we see so much beauty. It sounds so cheesy to say that, but like we really do. And we see so many different types of women. And I think that in turn helps our staff be more confident.
Okay, because they realize like it's not all just one type of client.
It's not like this all like, I hate to say this, it's not this so all white South Park rich woman cookie cutter blonde hair. It's like not that. No, not at all. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Okay, awesome.
We're solving so many problems. You know what I mean? Like, we're truly solving so many problems. Like, half of our industry is superficial stuff like Botox and whatever, but like there's some really gnarly, painful stuff that we deal with, and we're changing people's lives, and you know, you guys are doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, Tammy said yes. Margaret said, or how old we are. Yes, Margaret, no excuses.
Absolutely.
And you know, like I have coached like a range of organizers who are starting their business or at some like midpoint in their business, and they all come from different backgrounds, and it's like, it's all in how like you frame your background and like what your strengths are. And sometimes your strength is how much you've seen and how much experience you have and how wise you are, even if you're coming from a different, like if you're transitioning from a different career and this is your second career, or you know, however you want to frame that. There are so many positive ways to see it and to put it out there.
To spin it, right.
Like, yes, it's like, it's just all about like framing it in like a way that works for you.
Absolutely. Like you could,
being able to tell your own story in like a way that like just resenates with people.
Right. And the same thing could go for someone really young.
Absolutely.
You know, like in the beginning, like I started doing this when I was 21, 22, however you are when you get out of college.
Yeah.
And I was super nervous because I was like, oh my God, I'm a kid. Like, people don't...
Yeah, and you didn't have like an esthetician license on your own.
No, I didn't.
So like you were just like managing people who you didn't like... And they were more expert in the thing than you were,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah. And some of our estheticians, like a lot of them started out when they were really young, and that was something, I don't really have a good answer for that, but hopefully like having like a young, exciting personality just kind of made up for it. You know, like how youthful and excited they were.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of made up for it.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I completely know what you're talking about.
There's something special about youth that like you're not quite as jaded when you get older.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. Okay, Jennifer said...
Grandma, help me organize.
Margaret, you're so funny. Jennifer said...
Margaret, that needs to be a tagline.
You got some attitude behind it, and it's like, it's all about like the perspective you're bringing, and I love it. Okay, Jennifer says, I've served many high-end clientele in other jobs. It's really no big deal after you do it a few times. Absolutely. I think like any of your previous experiences that you can pull into this are so key. That's basically what I did. Created like, you know, this side business completely out of some previous experience that I had and my enthusiasm for the job.
Right.
And I got my first few clients. They started referring me, and on
and
on
enthusiasm goes a long way. And I think that's actually how when I started and I was so young, I was just so damn excited to be in the industry and to be talking about skincare, and like blah, 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 people are like, shut up. You know what I mean? I was just so excited that it's almost like it turned into trust, because I really did care a lot.
Oh, you can tell that you care.
You know?
You can tell that you care.
So yeah, excitement. And
so
it goes a long way.
Liz has a deep, dark secret to actually share with you guys. Look at her looking at me.
I do.
Yeah. She told me earlier today, she revealed that you know what she wishes that she was doing? She wishes that she was literally just actually talking to customers all day.
Yeah, I don't want to manage it.
And she doesn't actually want to ultimately be the manager of all these people.
I don't want to manage
and the decider of the social media, maybe. But like, she genuinely like wants to talk about skin products and make the sales with people, because
I do. I just want to talk to people and sell.
Do you not
skincare products
feel
all day long.
like? And this is how I feel. It's like, do you not feel that
that one-on-one connection is really the thing. Is really the thing that is making the sale. Absolutely. It's not the product.
It's not the product
at all.
Right. We could be selling like snake oil, and it's the connection, because
not in a bad way, not in a good way. Right. But you, I feel like, and this is something I can completely vouch for. Oh my gosh, Jennifer says, I think you should always tag team these videos. It's so fun with two. You're both so fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
This is fun for me too, because I get to pull in
it's Christy, you're
more
right,
than just me talking. But what Elizabeth has been good at, and I have noticed this about her the entire time we know each other. Again, we've known each other since we were 11. Like, she has always had that like it factor of being so genuinely interested in other people.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. It completely shows like you are so comfortable with other people, because even if you feel uncomfortable or like nervous or shy, like she's so good at just like genuinely just asking questions about like, oh my gosh, like, well, where are you from, and like, tell me about your kids, and like, I don't know, not that she was saying that to like other kids when we're in middle school, but like she just has always been good at that. And
thanks.
I think that really does make people feel special, because what do they want? They want to talk about themselves.
They want to talk about themselves. And so even if you're like, this is not a strategy, but because I do like to talk to people a lot.
Yeah.
But if you are nervous, that actually kind of could be a strategy.
Yeah.
Just asking people questions about themselves and getting them talking about themselves. And it sort of gives you time to calm down and to kind of get your bearings and gather your thoughts.
Absolutely.
And just kind of let them talk, because everybody does like to talk about themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And their experiences.
Oh, yeah. And don't you find, too, this is so similar to what I say about organizing. Like, when I go to when I go on a consultation in somebody's home, and they called me there probably for, like, a specific reason or two, like, my home office is out of control. Like, or my bathrooms and my closets are just out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they call you for like one or two specific reasons, but there's always more to unveil. And so I just am generally like asking them to just like, I'm not like so laser focused that I'm just like, okay, no, you call me for your office, so you show me your office and I got to get out of here.
Right.
Like, I'm never ever like that. I'm like, and a lot
Give
of you
them
guys,
the
a lot
room
of you guys ask about consultations. So here's a little gem like buried in this video for you is, I give them a lot of space to just talk. Like, I go in and say like, okay, so, show me your home office, but like also just like walk through, like talk out loud about what's going on, what's working for you in your home. Like, that's a good starting point for your consultation. Okay.
Yeah. And asking questions and sort of sometimes a lot of times the patient,
letting them lead a little bit.
Letting them lead. And sometimes the patient, if I give them space to talk about what's going on with their skin, they almost like tell me what they need. It's almost like, and same thing to you, they might reveal like, actually, I do actually need help with this and that.
And because they don't necessarily see like how all the things are interrelated, but you can see like, okay, it's not just your home office that doesn't work well. Like, it's a whole like pattern of like systems that are kind of dysfunctional or were never set up properly in your house. So like, you can start to see how things connect together. And that's how you go from somebody asked this earlier. That's how you go from like getting them to your intro level offer to being actually like, well, I can really see in my mind that, if we do like the medium size package or the larger size package, that a lot of the stuff will kind of naturally take care of itself if we can, put this much time into it, because we can set up these systems in every part of your house after we declutter, get rid of the things that we don't need, and get the things that we do need to get it all working. So that's just, something to kind of think on.
And here's another thing I just thought of too, is in sales, a lot of times people are uncomfortable with silence. So, okay, one thing we're talking about is giving them the room to kind of like talk and think through what they may or may not need. But another sales tactic, I hate saying tactic, but is to be comfortable with silence and kind of let people work through, the decision-making process in their mind without you kind of like interrupting them, So say if someone comes up and they're going to buy a hair removal package or whatever, so they're looking at the menu and they're analyzing the price and all these things are going through their head. They're blah, 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 justifying the price. Is too much money, blah, blah, blah. And normally, and it's quiet, and me as a salesperson, my general inclination is to be like, oh, but say all this stuff, but really I just need to shut up and let the wheels turn. You know what I mean? That's always really important. And people are usually uncomfortable with silence and they want to fill that void, so they're just going to keep talking when really less is more.
Oh, less is more. Less is more. And we should know that because we are going to be helping simplify their lives, right?
Right.
So don't make it crazy and overwhelming for them. Another thing I want to ask you about, okay, this is another random question, but so one of my girls who is one of my masterclass students, she actually is an esthetician.
Cool.
And she has and she's young too. She has that enthusiasm for life, which I love. She asked me one time, or she said, I see so many parallels like in our businesses. By the way, I'm kind of crowding you out of here. Get in here. Get in the video. She said, I see so many parallels like in these industries. She said, one of the things, for example, is that as an esthetician, you're kind of working on some things that the client has asked you for, but you also kind of notice some other things that you might feel a little hesitant to offer them. And that, like, for example, like the example that she gave me, and this is totally, just an example. It could be so many things, and you guys can relate this to organizing very, very easily. But for example, she said, the customer comes in and they want their eyebrows waxed, but she's like, well, but like I noticed, like I could probably just like do their lip wax too at the same time. But like she's like, I'm hesitant to offer like a service that we could just knock it all out like while we're here, and you're already in here for like a hair removal thing, so like do you just want me to do that? But there's like that little bit of like a fine line of like that boundary of like, what did you ask me to help you with, and versus like, I don't want to impose this or give you a complex about like yes, because so our bodies are so personal, like our stuff is so personal. This is another reason number 15 why our industries are so similar.
We walk a fine line between giving someone a complex, raising their awareness or whatever. You don't want to make them feel bad. I think this would be so much easier for you guys than us, because it's women and their faces and their bodies, and unfortunately this has happened so many times where we have taken that approach to kind of gently point something out, and the person's like, oh my God, I never... It's off. It is not good.
Sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. So it's like giving them the space, going back to what we were talking about, giving them the space to talk more and sort of let them bring it up. If they don't bring it up, I don't know.
That's hard.
It's a hard one, yeah. It might be easier for you guys because maybe you could like bundle things, and there's a clear savings if you do more, blah, blah, blah. But with us, it's a very fine line. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're still helping someone. It's still like, I'm going to make you look better, but, with your looks and, I don't know, your face and your skin, it's just...
it's like so tough, right?
Right. It's so emotional.
Are there any things that you guys offer that is like, you guys kind of do the initial service, but it's up to them to maintain the results, because that would be so similar to organizing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what, like, give me an example.
Like that you would come in for like, obviously, like you need to do a series of laser treatments, or you need to maintain your Botox every 3 to 4 months or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Okay. Well, no. I mean more like they have to do like at-home stuff to maintain the results versus like
home care. Yes. Because say if you come to us for like a professional skin treatment, you're coming like once a month, once every 6 weeks, and then there's all those days at home where you've got to take care of your skin and take responsibility. Absolutely. Home care is huge.
How do you, this is another big thing for us. Oh my God, this is so golden. Like, I can't believe there's not 50 people signed on this right now. You guys are getting like amazing information. How do you gently tell them that you're not responsible for like their ongoing results?
Yeah,
like you're helping them get the ball rolling.
We like the gym analogy. Okay. So we always tell patients, like, this is like going to the gym once.
Okay.
And then expecting to maintain this sleek body without continuously going. You know what I mean? Like, it's like anything. It's like, I ate really healthy today and I had a salad and whatever, and I'm gonna eat like shit the rest of the week. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
So we really
why not though? But why not?
Why? Yeah. We try to spell that out, and usually they understand.
Okay.
And I think that probably would cross over into your industry too. I think that they would get it. You know what I mean? Like, Jen can't come to my house today and make it look fabulous, and then it's just gonna magically stay like that.
The amazing thing actually about what we do though is that theoretically it's possible. Theoretically, it is possible if I had an entire team of people that we could come in and basically do that like extreme makeover situation,
right?
In a day or in a week. I mean, because whatever the
case may be for their particular home and their space, it's like, it is amazing because you can almost completely outsource the hard work.
Oh,
like,
cool.
It's like going to the gym once.
Right.
But again,
wow.
unless you hire us for like that ongoing maintenance package, like, you're not going to maintain that happy feeling results. So, and I think that I think the reason why I bring this up, and I'm sorry to interrupt you again, I think the reason why I bring this up is because I do feel like a lot of new organizers, and maybe even some older or seasoned ones, that's okay, feel that kind of nervousness about like meeting the client's expectations, or being afraid that the client has unreasonable expectations, and it's like, not being able to kind of willingly state like, the ball is in your court, and being able to say something like, well, me coming and organizing even 4 times is like going to the gym 4 times. I think like that's actually like an amazing way to say it. If you ever feel uncomfortable about that situation, or about the client having expectations that like all their problems are going to be solved, it's
same thing.
The maintenance is the really important part. And, unless you hire us to do an ongoing maintenance package, like, this is completely in your hands. Yeah. Like, and you probably are going to experience like a relapse or some kind. So just like being able to like paint that picture realistically, but also having just like realistic expectations of yourself. Like, you want, like, a lot of us are so like people pleasers, and you can probably talk about that too. Yeah. A lot of us are so much people pleasers that like we want to see like this person's problems like
go away,
be solved forever.
Right.
And that's just not realistic.
I would say realistic expectations are everything. So when we do initial consultation, I mean, we really, really try to spell it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the beginning, so people go in, and a lot of times you usually underpromise and overdeliver.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's great, and it's a win-win for both of you. I had another point.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got way off track there, but we were just talking about like the one time versus like
Oh yeah, and I was going to say this. And then another thing that's really important, like is to keep the end result in mind. So keep the end goal in mind. So for example, say someone comes in and they've got really, really stubborn melasma, pigmentation after pregnancy, it's all over their face, and they're coming to us for treatments. Their pigment, a lot of times, it's not going to go away unless they do all these steps, the home care. So remember, unless you do these things, your end goal, the very reason you're here, you are not going to get there. You're not going to achieve that.
Okay.
So just keep reminding them, like, and be very visual with them, and explain to them, and kind of get them in that headspace of feeling like, they're already there. Like what we talk about all the time.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about like the tougher side of things. And by the way, I love this because I think I like being the interviewer.
Oh.
Like, I love it. Okay, tell us about a time when you had to deal with a difficult customer service issue, because what happens when you're the manager, you are the one who people are like, let me speak to the manager.
And
it's like, oh God, that's me.
I just had one. What is today? Tuesday. I had one yesterday. We had a patient that called, and she called, and she was like, Liz, I don't want you to hate me. She said, I'm about to come to you with like 3 different complaints. And
oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So
about like your staff?
She felt that she was being overcharged for Botox because her friend went elsewhere and it was like 3 times less the price. And then there were 2 other issues. Oh, and then she felt she wasn't getting good results with her hair removal. And immediately, I just know from working, dealing with people's problems for so long, you got to break, like, so these, like, and then something else, she was upset that we didn't tell her about a program. So she drops like 3 bombs on me, okay? And then, it's really easy to get overwhelmed and be like, oh my God, like 3 huge
freaking
bombs.
out,
freaking out, right? I don't want anyone to be unhappy. My bosses, our owners don't. And so I'm like, okay. So in that moment, I'm like, all right, I need to separately dissect all 3 of these bombs.
Yes.
And talk each thing out, instead of be like, well, it would have been really easy for me to kind of just dismiss her and say blah, blah, blah. So I dissected each one. And I came to find out that, for example, the Botox, we weren't talking apples to apples.
Okay.
The units were totally different. The amount of time that she was getting this other place, wasn't lasting nearly as long. So we weren't. And then, for example, she was completely misinformed with a girlfriend who gave her total misinformation about hair removal. It just, usually there's more there's more to it. You know what I mean? Usually you got to break it down, if that makes sense, you know? And then at the end and then I made sure I acknowledged her problems, which people, I think, always forget about that step. And that's really, really important to acknowledge. Like, people want you to acknowledge, and not in like a superficial fake way. Like, oh, I'm sorry you have that problem. You know, like really try to relate to them and just say, I'm so incredibly sorry you feel that way. Explain it to me, blah, 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 and really listen to them, because that is half. People, when they call you and they have a problem, they've already decided you're going to dismiss them. They're already on the defense. They already have decided that you don't care about their problem and that you're going to give them like shit back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay. So they're coming into the conversation with that mentality. Yeah. So it's about disarming first and then figuring out how to help them or solve the problem if you can. And we ended up hanging up in a great fashion. She's like, okay. She was like, thank you so much for spending the time with me. She also didn't think I was going to spend the time with her. Okay. And I did. I spent a lot of time talking to her, and she's like, all right, I'll see you next month. You know? Wow. That's actually amazing. It was great. I was really happy. Sometimes that's like people's biggest fear is, you know, people being unhappy with them, and how to like how to actually address that versus just like having that fear. Like, do you feel like, you have probably, you obviously had a process in your mind for when that came up is, okay, I'm going to dissect each one of her issues, but like, do you feel like you have like certain practiced almost like scripts that you go to like in your head of like, okay, if somebody's unhappy with this, here's what I'm going to say? Never. Really? Yeah. But like, and I feel like that works to my advantage. Really? Because I take every single situation differently. You know what I mean? Like, I never want to have like a cookie cutter approach for anyone's problem. Oh, okay. Me specifically with what I do. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. I was just wondering if like it would give you more confidence if you sort of like rehearse it in your head, like. I don't. Really? I try to take each problem and isolate it and just be like, okay, this is not, you know, I can't put this lady in a bundle with this person and this person, this person. They were all unhappy about the same thing. I need to just take her and isolate her and figure out, that's a good, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if that's the right thing. No, that's, I think that's probably why people relate end to up you happy on like the phone you. Sometimes. I know, that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, that's really good to know. Okay, so do you guys have like a policy where, if somebody is unhappy, that you comp them a service or do something like that? Yeah, or does it depend on the situation? No, I try to, because we've done the math, and the amount of money that we spend on like advertising and Google and Facebook, it is so much more expensive to get a new patient in the practice than to keep an existing one, a happy patient. It is so much less expensive to keep patients happy. And really, at the end of the day, it's very little. Right. You know what I mean? Like, what it costs us, like, is very little compared to how it would make someone so happy. You know what I mean? Yep. Just to comp a service, like, get over it. It's not a big deal. Right. Mm-hmm. Because if somebody has already been your customer, then they have the opportunity to leave a negative review. And you know what they say? If someone's unhappy, if they're happy, they're going to tell one person. If they're unhappy, they're going to tell 10. Yeah. And I've personally seen that happen, and I get it. Yeah. You know, people take that very seriously, and, you know, I wish it was the other way around, but it's not. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is such good information. All right, let me see what other notes we had. It starts with how you view yourself. The other person is vulnerable. Waiting on people. Oh my God, I think we said all that. Okay, do you want to talk about the Ritz Carlton anymore? You said 1, 2, and 3 service values. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about this really quick, and then we'll take any questions that you guys have, because this is a really interesting and very multifaceted topic. Right. Okay, so this is awesome. Yeah, I was reviewing the Ritz Carlton, their steps of service and their service values, and I thought there's actually 12 of them, but I felt like 3 of them would pertain to both of our services. The first one is, I build strong relationships and create Ritz Carlton or whatever X guests for life, and I think that is huge. You know, and that could be totally applicable to everything that we're all doing. 2, I'm always responsive and express the unexpressed. I'm always responsive to the expressed and unexpressed wishes and needs of our guests. That's an awesome one, and that's huge for us. Talk about that. Yeah. So I feel like one thing that's made our company really successful is we try to anticipate people's needs. So like this thing is saying, it's about the unexpressed wishes of people. So that also falls in line with listening more and talking less, and really trying to understand, like, what is this person saying? What does this person need from me? What can I give them that they don't even know I can give them yet? You know? Okay, that's an awesome one. And then 3, I'm empowered to create unique, memorable, and personal experiences for our guests. And I think that's huge for for both of us. You know what I mean? Like, there's some really amazing personal touches that we could all do to make people feel really special and valued, and like, I don't want to go anywhere else, you know?
Yeah. So going back to just like customer service in general, what are the things that you love the most about it? What are the things that you like, what maybe is like the one or two messages that you wish that like you could give the world about, you know, either delivering better customer service or like falling in love with just like being in that process versus feeling like this is a crappy job because I'm serving other people. Like,
exactly.
Loving what you do so much that like, it comes through like so genuinely, and people are just like obsessed with you. Like, talk to us about that.
It has to be genuine. So I would say everybody needs to do some major like soul searching. Like, is this where I want to be? Does this feel like, when I think about like, there are some, I've worked with people in the past where customer service did not come natural to them, and it's always, we've talked about this for 10 years, how we're like, why are people in customer service when they A, are not good at it, and B, clearly do not want to be there?
So true.
You know, like, so why true. Right, so really dig deep and just think like, am I cut out for this? Like, does this make me feel good? You know, I know that, and my husband's the same way because he's in customer service also. You know, we always talk about genuinely feeling good and happy when we walk away from helping someone. Like, it literally lifts us up and makes us feel better. Not everyone's like that. You think that everyone is like that, but they're really not. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with the people who don't feel that way. They have amazing strengths, and you know, customer service just isn't one of them. So I would say digging deep and really figuring out if this is what makes you feel good inside, and continue to be yourself, because people absolutely can see through being fake and being disingenuous, and they don't respond to it, they don't trust you, you know, there's always something not quite right.
Do you think, and I'm sorry if I'm interrupting your thought, do you think that it's possible to, I mean, I hope that you feel like it's possible, do you think that it's possible to improve your game?
Yes,
as far as like putting yourself, because this is all about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes instead of your own.
Absolutely.
And then giving them what they want, not what you want to give them. But like, obviously in like a very ethical way.
Yes.
But like, how would you say, like, to somebody who is like, oh, like, I'm just now putting together 2 and 2, you know, that this is where like the money is not being the best and the brightest and the most, you know, certified, is like, honestly, is just like creating an experience that people are like so excited about. Like, how would you like up your game, like, when it comes to that, like putting yourself in the other person's shoes and like genuinely like connecting with them? Because like I said, guys, she is a natural at this. I have seen her doing it her entire life, but I think that she knows what she's doing. Like, she's aware of herself. Like, she's very aware of how, you're probably aware of how good you are at it.
It comes natural, and I know it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a great example. Okay. So there is a girl that works at our spa, and she still works there. So if you come to see us, don't try to figure out who it is. But when she first was hired, she was not comfortable talking to people. She definitely wasn't good at making people feel valued or welcomed. Nothing was warm about her. You wouldn't, and like, literally, if you came in now, you would not even have any idea who I was talking about. But I attribute that. My boss, our owners, when she was hired, she said to her, I want you to watch Liz, and I want you to emulate every single thing she does. When she stands, you stand. When she does this, you do this. And I was
just amazing.
And I was I was
awesome.
Like, ew, gross. Like, I was like embarrassed because it was about me, and I was like, oh God, no, you know. Anyway, the point is that exactly what you guys are doing here with Jen, and you're seeking help. You know, like, you're trying to look towards people, like, who's doing it better? Who can I emulate? How can I make myself better? So I was an example for her, and now she's amazing, and she makes amazing bonds with people, and people trust her and love her, and they always, when she's not there, they'll say, where's so-and-so? You know, like, I miss her. I thought she was working today. You know, they literally ask about her when she's not there. So I would say having a role model, or having someone that you look up to, or that you find someone that is inspiring to you.
That's my God. So funny. There was so many comments that I didn't see. I thought nobody had commented for like the last
me too.
30 minutes.
Sorry, you guys.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious. Okay, thank you. It was sitting way
Me too, and I was like, is everyone asleep? Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. All
right,
no, go ahead.
So finding someone that you are inspired by and not being scared to ask for help or look for help or seek stuff out. You know what I mean? Because
it like no shame in that, right? You know,
Facebook fail.
Facebook fail.
They were probably like, "Why aren't you guys answering our questions?" I'm trying to think what else.
Upping your game.
Okay, yeah, upping your game, and then also try to imagine yourself in someone else's shoes. Like literally every time you're in a situation like that, like pretend you were in that person's shoes and be like, how would I want to be treated? How would I want to be talked to? How would I want this person to make me feel? And then do it. Try to do it. You know, just put yourself in that person's shoes, because it's really easy to get out of our space and what we're doing, and you know, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, completely makes sense. It completely makes sense. Something that you said earlier about the Ritz Carlton, yes, Alicia said compassion.
Compassion, yes. Oh my God.
Something earlier you said about the Ritz Carlton experience was, you know, I'm empowered to create amazing experiences for my guests. Right. You know, one of the things that I feel personally about, you know, my business model of doing package pricing versus nickeling and diming people by the hour is that it gives me the breathing room and the leeway to do things like that. I don't know. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on a Facebook Live for the big group before. I know I've talked about it in the master class, but when I started out, like I literally would be like texting them and like asking them, like, I'm grabbing Starbucks, like, what do you want? Like, I'm on my way.
Exactly.
And they're just like, oh my god,
yeah.
Like get me a latte, girl, because I know we got a long day ahead of us, or whatever. And you know, and if they had wanted champagne, I would have gone and gotten champagne. Nobody ever asked me for that. Damn. But
you should have it, bring it with you in case.
I know. I need to have like my my just in case.
Yes.
Cooler.
But it's the unexpected small touches. Like, for example, I remember learning in school that, you know, if someone like how Ritz Carlton employees are, they have the autonomy to do things like that. Okay, so say there's a janitor.
They don't have to ask for permission.
They don't have to ask, right?
Yes.
Say that there's a janitor and he overhears Mrs. Smith, who comes there all the time, blah, blah, blah. She's admiring some lilies, okay? And he hears her just say, oh my God, I love lilies. They're my favorite flower, blah, blah, blah. You better believe the next time that Miss Smith checks into her room, there will be lilies in her room, because they put that in the computer and they just pick up on things. And that also goes back to listening more and talking less. You know,
oh my God,
picking up on stuff.
This is just like the essence of. Adria said, I never thought to get my clients coffee. What other perks can we give? Teach me your ways, organizing Yoda. Okay, by the way, let me tell you about Adria. I know everything about Adria. She's crazy on the inside, but like she has the most like funny sense of humor. Like so like genuine. And when I say crazy on the inside, I mean like I
in a good way.
Love you. Yeah. But like even just like having like a personality is a perk. And absolutely. I'm not gonna like lie to you about that. Like I have seen hundreds and hundreds of professional organizers' websites. Adria says she's crazy on the outside too. I don't know about that. You are so like calm, cool, and collected. God, what was I about to say? I've seen so many organizers' websites, and again, it's like they are talking more and listening less because they want to impress you with how much they know about everything. Right. And it's like this is a customer service kind of reality that goes across multiple industries. Is that
absolutely?
I mean, when I talk to you guys about targeting high-end clientele, this is what I'm talking about, is making it customizable and actually listening. Like that's what it really comes down to, is like creating the experience that they want to have, not like this like picture perfect process. I just had a thought too.
Yeah. Think about like when you go into like a really fancy high-end retail store, there's less merchandise. And you know it's expensive. Yeah. Versus when you go into a place that's like
Old Navy, it's disorganized as crap.
Or really like Forever 21 and H&M, which
I love.
I know. Not above it at all.
We love it.
But you know immediately like this is chaos and it's all really cheap. But then you go into like a really high-end shoe store and it's very sparse and it's very clean and you're like, this stuff is expensive, I can tell. And you haven't even picked up a shoe, but you just know it's expensive.
No, and in Forever 21 and Old Navy and all those places, it's like, who has to do the work? You do.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
I'm going to be working my ass off to even find my size the entire time. Right. Okay. Christy said, And I'm sorry, guys, we can't see like the entire comments tonight. I'm so sorry. Chrissy says, I have a very good friend that is amazing at organizing, and she is a teacher. I've been wanting her to help me with big jobs or sub her for jobs, but she does not have the personality that I really want to. And then I can see the word represent. I can't see the rest of the comment, but what would you say about that? Like, you need to be bringing people on that are the right fit
and
for
that
your
reflect
brand.
you. Really,
Yes.
I get it. Maybe
that's hard.
Yeah, and if
you gotta pick the right people to begin with, though, because and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
One thing that is different for us, like, I mean, well, not for us. Some of us, if we are in major, big organizing companies, we can have employees. But one difference between Liz's employees that she is managing versus if we have subcontractors is, you cannot dictate to a subcontractor how to do the work. And you can't say like, this is my process and you must follow my process and you must be like my brand. Like, you kind of have to like give them some leeway and trust them and hope that they soak it up versus like, you know, being... Otherwise, they are more like an employee than they are like a subcontractor, and you will be taxed differently for that. So it does make a difference. So,
Christy, I would say to find something on the back end for her to do.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Just not
like helping you organize
exactly
like your business,
invoicing or something, right? And not putting her in out in public or in the face of your clients where she's representing you. If you really want to help her and hire her or whatever, find something on the back end for her to do.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
You know,
that's such a good idea.
Because I get it. Like, you want, like, she's good and you want to help her and you want to give her the opportunity. But at the end of the day, it's your business and it's you that she's representing. So that comes first.
Yeah, you want people who, you know, they might not organize the same way that you do, but they need to have, like, be on par with, like, your level of, like, care for your client and ability to be flexible and kind of flow with, like, what they're going to need in the moment. All right, Adria's asking, if I have a client who likes to talk a lot because they are super stressed, is it more important to move slowly and listen to her? I'm concerned about losing momentum or not getting done with her project quickly.
Happens to us all the time.
Okay, I'm going to let you talk because I repeat myself on this all the time. But you go ahead. Tell us.
All right, so we have a very similar situation. Like, say a patient comes in and they're in a consultation and they're just like they're a talker, they're going on and on. And I completely understand what you mean about losing momentum, and that you walk a fine line. So I definitely would say give them initial space to breathe and to talk and to build a relationship. But at a certain point, you have to create boundaries. And you have to kind of shift the focus back on you. You know, like, you are here. Let me help you. This is what we're going to do. And I don't kind of go from there. So I would say like it's like 50-50, but you definitely need to create a boundary. Patients do that all the time. You know, they want to just keep going. And unless you kind of figure out how to, you know, redirect the conversation, it'll go on forever. It'll go on forever because you're sort of like a therapist shrink.
Oh my God.
We are too.
Yeah.
Right.
Completely.
It cut Adrian.
I know all of these questions are cut off a little bit tonight. I'm not sure why. And my follow up to that answer is one of the ways that I naturally am able to at least, you know, contain those sessions. Adria, this might be helpful for you. I don't know. Is just the fact that I have a strict time limit on my sessions now. With you know, the spa industry, that might be a little tougher because you probably have like an estimated time on like certain treatments, but it's like, well, they could take longer, they could take shorter depending on like their thing. But then if they talk you to death, like you're kind of stuck. Right. But like our clients understand, it's like, okay, if they have booked me for a package of 4 sessions and each session is 3 hours, if they want to use half of one of those sessions, an hour and a half, telling me their story about every single thing, you know, I kind of gently kind of bring them back to like, okay, so here's what we like, of course, affirming and listening and being like, that is so amazing. That's like so interesting. And of course, a lot of what they're doing is processing out loud their stories and their thoughts about their stuff, because a lot of the times this is like super emotional work that they're doing. And so you can't, first of all, you can't assume that every client just wants to move as quickly as possible, because it's not true. That's not what every client wants. But also at the same time, I make sure I'm doing my due diligence by saying like, okay, like just gently kind of bringing them back and saying like, so reminding them of like what our goals for this session are, or like, hey, so I kind of see like we've got about this much time left. Same. And I think like what our best bet is, and like always make it sound like so like sweet and like,
in their favor, and like
in their favor.
And you could say like, okay, to maximize our time, let's like, remind
here's
them
the
like,
best thing for us to do now that we have just an hour and a half left. Like our best bet is to just focus on this and knock this out for the day with the time that we have left.
Like I want you to make the most of this.
And if they keep saying no, that's on them. And if they use up your time, it's like, well, I'm leaving at noon, so it's really,
whether we got stuff done or not.
Yeah. And Lainey's talked about this in some of her videos too. Like this is actually a pretty common situation. So I mean, don't feel like this is abnormal. This is very normal. Very normal. I think as long as you keep doing what you agreed to when you guys set up the entire job, at the consultation or whatever, like as long as you keep bringing back that focus and reminding them, then you're doing your part. Okay. Misty, this is Misty. She said, great info, ladies. In organizing a true it costs too much should not happen. In organizing a true it costs too much should not happen when on the in-home consult, since prices are clearly on the website within agreement and discuss rates and packages. Okay, Misty, I didn't see the rest of that comment, but yes, I think you're right. Jenna says, should be catching the rest as a rewatch. Jenna, you better go visit Liz at Ageless Remedies. She would love to meet you. Christy says, I am a talker and I know what it's like to be that client who can talk your ear off, but Jenna's helped me see how I can be the annoying customer. Oh no. Well, all self-knowledge is for our good, right? But Chrissy says, I am learning too how to listen since I'm in charge of my own time. Tammy says, Jen, you make me laugh at your clothing malfunctions. Oh, what? I don't have any clothing malfunctions. Are you serious? How many glasses of wine? How many glasses of wine have you had? One.
We really have only had
we're just high on sushi and
probably going to be starving in 30 minutes.
We're probably going to be starving.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? Does anybody else have anything they want to add?
Any other questions? Thank you guys, everyone who asked a question that made this happen tonight, because Liz, her topic and her expertise like really brought together. Oh, Chrissy said that was a positive comment, Jen, not a negative. That's hilarious. I don't know if it was positive or negative. All of the questions that you guys asked like kind of bring together this inspiration for having a guest or being able to do this tag team thing like Jennifer Campos said. So thank you for posting the things that you do, for engaging with the groups the way that you do. Keep doing that, because that keeps bringing new ideas to my mind, and making these super valuable for you guys, like what you want to learn about and what you want to ask about, like I want to talk about. Adria said she did so good.
Thank you so much. I was so nervous. So thank you so much.
Okay, Becca said, here's a good question. How does your boss make you feel valuable?
Oh, really easy. So I found that a lot of people...
She might be just easy to please. We don't know.
People are definitely not all motivated by the same thing. Absolutely. And I find that one of the ways that I am personally motivated, besides money, some of the girls are definitely motivated by money, and that's their form of recognition. But praise is huge for me. Like I always want to know when I'm doing a good job, if I'm doing a good job. I want specific examples. So my boss, I think after 11 years, has figured that out. So they make me feel very valuable by letting me know what a good job I'm doing with the team and stuff like that.
That's so awesome. That's so good. Okay, Tammy says she didn't mean clothing malfunction in a bad way. Oh, I will learn to take that as a compliment. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Good night, Adria.
Adria said, thanks for a great talk. I got to go do some chores now. Thank you guys so much. Again, if you guys were watching this on the replay or on YouTube, thank you again.
I know, thank you so much.
Please come join us, like, for more of these chats. Like, actually join the group where this happens. It's on Facebook. Search for Pro Organizer Studio. Ask to join. I will approve you, or Lainey Brookshire will approve you. Next week, we are having...
Yes, Sia, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, Misty said words of affirmation is... yeah, no, it's okay. I know everybody's, like, code name.
Words of affirmation is her love language.
Mine too.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, we have to talk about like Myers-Briggs types.
Oh, thanks, Becca.
Oh, can we just have like a whole nother hour?
I know.
Okay, Becca said, cool. You're supernatural in here. I'm totally a words of affirmation gal. But Chrissy says please come back. And next week, we are having a special guest. It is Hunter Welling. She is our social media experts extraordinaire, and she is super cool, and so I'm really excited about her sharing with you guys. She has some tips for you on doing your social media plan, which I know a lot of people are overwhelmed, struggling, or just plain like trying to ignore it and put their head in the sand, which I've been there. I completely understand. I never even did social media for my organizing business, so this is actually a really exciting topic, and we will be so thrilled to have her share her tips. So please mark your calendar for 9 o'clock next Tuesday. She will be here. It's going to be awesome. That's June 20th.
June 20th, yes.
Thank you, Liz.
Bye, you guys.
Oh my God. Please come join like our group. Like join Facebook so you can be in our group.
So I can be with you guys. Just right.
Do more of this. Okay,
my second career.
We'll have her on for a repeat session in like 3-6 months. Like I'm doing it. Oh, Christy says she's scrumming right now. That's project managing. That is awesome.
Cool.
Jay says she needs the social media chat. Her head is in the sand.
It's overwhelming.
Erica says, cool topic. I always miss the start. What time does it start on Tuesday? I'm so glad you asked. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 6 o'clock if you're on the West Coast. Yep. Awesome. Tammy. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Guys. Have a great night.
Wonderful night. Bye.
Bye.